We're here on High Street in Oxford again, and it's a bit quieter today than it was the other day when there's a protest going on. But apparently there is going to be a protest again tomorrow at 6 p.m. And this is the scene. They've got police guarding there's the van, and the police are actually guarding on this side of the road. They are guarding the statue of Cecil Rhodes, which I'll show you in a second. It's just up there in the building. Now, I was speaking to the police earlier. No, it's facing this way. You can't see. You're famous now. There you go.
Hello.
That's a nice police lady who was guarding the statue, and there's the guys over there I was talking to earlier. They were saying that they've got to be there till 10 p.m. I guess after 10 p.m. vandals don't come out to vandalize statues or something like that. But here's the van. We could go and speak to them. I wonder if they'll go on camera. We just say hi anyway. There's the other van. I'm going to say hello to them. Just coming to say hi, just doing a little bit of filming. There's the guy's guarding the statue up there. If I can, without getting myself killed in the road. There he is. There's the scene. Now I think they've stumbled onto something here, the protesters. They were annoyed about Cecil Rhodes in the aftermath of the George Floyd killing, or the George Floyd incident. Now, what they stumbled onto, though, is a symbol of racism or a symbol of a power structure. And that power structure is currently affecting us all. Somebody was saying to me today that I didn't understand what it was like because I'm a white person, I've never been black in America, and if I had, I would have experienced the things I'm complaining about throughout my entire life. But that's not strictly true. I'm not trying to wade into any racial debate. What I'm experiencing now, you can decide for yourself whether this is what's been going on in America. But what I'm experiencing now is that I'm being told, for example, in the past few weeks, that I couldn't sit in the sunshine on my own. I've been told that I can't hug who I want. I can't see who I want. I have to be 2 meters apart from everybody. I have to follow lines in a supermarket. I have to be corralled in different ways. I can't stay overnight. I can't have people into my home. I can't visit people in their home. I can't run my business. There's all kinds of, there's a whole raft of regulations. I probably have missed some out there. I'll try and remember others as we go. But I don't know if those, I mean, I'm pretty sure some of those have not been applied to anybody in America. I mean, obviously going further back, people could only drink from certain fountains and things like that. But in my lifetime, I don't think it's been quite like that. It's quite as extreme as that for people of any colour in what we consider to be the free Western world. Now, obviously, there's been government, in different incidences of government overreach and extreme imposition of kind of restrictions on people. Like, for example, in this country, in the UK, they didn't used to let people associated with the IRA broadcast on television. So they used to get an actor to say the words that the guy was mouthing, so they wouldn't play the sound, but they'd get an actor to record the sound of what he said. So there's been things like that. You know, the government overreaches all the time. But what I'm trying to get to here is that the lockdown restrictions apply to all of us. So what we're faced with is not like a racial divide, although some people might like to make that amongst us, or create one of those divides amongst us. The important thing to remember is that these restrictions are being applied regardless of your colour or your creed or your religion, and they're being applied all around the world. Oh yeah, the other one that I forgot is that there's now mandatory masks coming in, certainly on public transport, and then there's the suggestion that they'll be more widely enforced as they have been in other countries. These are impositions on all of us as individuals, as free human beings, and if they were just being applied to one colour or one creed of people, there would be uproar. But for some reason, we're all accepting it. And the reason we're all accepting it is because we've been told it's for our own good. And we've been told it's for our own good based on, to the best of my understanding, what is not science. It's faulty reasoning. And if you look very closely at it, where are these measures going to end? Are we being told that we have to wear masks until something is achieved, or until some kind of goal is reached? But we're not. we seem to have reached the goals that the lockdown was intended for, which was to protect health services, flatten curves, provide enough ventilators, even though the ventilators themselves seem from many accounts to be misapplied in such a way as to cause harm to the patients. These are concerns that we should all share as a united people against a potentially tyrannical government. And as I mentioned before, it's the job of an informed citizenry to call that government to an account. Now, even if you think you're watching this, this guy doesn't understand anything, and he's not a doctor, and he's not working in the hospitals, and if he was in a COVID ward, he'd understand better, yada, yada, yada. All those things, okay? That's fine. And maybe the point I'm getting to here is that if I am wrong, no bad can come of it, no ill can come of it. I'm just asking people to question authority, and because if authority goes unquestioned and unchallenged, then that is the perfect conditions for tyranny. And at the moment, we are having the regulations imposed on that no free people should accept, regardless of their colour or creed. So when those protesters, they're coming, apparently returning tomorrow at 6 p.m, they're coming at the fall of a statue. I am more concerned about living people than the statue. The statue may be symbolic, and obviously nobody wants to celebrate racism or police brutality and those kind of things, but that should really go unsaid. Should be able to, no, not unsaid, it should be understood as a given. What my concern is for the people who are being killed by the lockdown measures. So I'm personally being affected in many ways. I might do that in another video just to give you my personal experience of it, but in terms of the seriousness of this, the impacts of these lockdown measures, they're killing people who can't receive their health treatment or haven't received their health treatment. They're killing people who are not receiving the food that they need, or where the food chain has been broken in different ways for different reasons, like closure of borders or the cessation of employment or activity where people gather and provide food services, whether it's harvesting or delivery or whatever. And they've also killed people where people with COVID have been sent into care homes. And in addition, there's the social malaise that's spreading throughout the country and the world, where people who are being isolated from one another. So all these things are going to have a major impact on people's lives and will cost lives. And we know already that from the figures we're being given that the lives that will be cost will be many more than we have been told have been saved or have been lost due to COVID. So these are my concerns, and just got distracted by seeing someone. So how was I going to finish that? I don't know. Maybe I'll say it another time in another video. But so even if I'm wrong, there's really no problem with me being wrong and asking the questions. I think we should all have some kind of informed inquiry or enquiry into the way our governments are acting at the moment, because none of it seems to make any sense. In this country, apparently I can get on a bus like this one without a mask today and tomorrow, but on the 15th of June, suddenly it won't be possible for me to get on with a mask. So apparently the COVID is lying in wait until the 15th of June on public transport. The whole thing, there's so many contradictions and illogical aspects to this that if you're not questioning it, then I really don't think you're paying attention. I don't want to say that like in a patronizing way, but it might have just come out that way. Anyway, that'll do us for now. Take care. Stay happy, keep calm, carry on, all that business. Because the other thing I think is really important is that we don't let our morale go down, because that way it's a way to getting ill, and people seem to be very concerned not to get ill at the moment. Bye bye.